Every morning at exactly 7 o'clock, Daniel would open the shutter of his store. Just as he did, an old man named Mr. Albert would walk in. Without saying a word, Mr. Albert would quietly pick up some food and drinks from the shelves and leave without paying. But Daniel never stopped him, never asked for money, never questioned him. Right after Mr. Albert left, the two store workers, Ethan and Lucas, would arrive. Daniel would hand over the shop to them and leave for a couple of hours. By the time he returned, the store would be packed with customers. Long lines, loud chatter, and non-stop sales filled the air. The store made nearly $10,000 in daily sales, earning Daniel a solid profit. But Ethan and Lucas were two very different kinds of people. Ethan was humble, hardworking, and respectful to every customer. He took his job seriously and treated the store like his responsibility. Lucas, on the other hand, was arrogant and cold. He claimed to be from a rich family and said he was only working there because of circumstances. Whenever Daniel was away, Lucas acted like the boss, treating Ethan like a servant. He made Ethan do all the work while he relaxed in the chair, scrolled through his phone, or sipped coffee. Then, one day, Daniel opened the store at 7 a.m. as usual, but this time he called both Ethan and Lucas together. "I'll be out of town for a week," he said. "During this time, you both will manage the store. When I return, if any one of you has increased the store's revenue beyond what I usually make, I will make that person the manager of my second store and give them 40% partnership in it." Both Ethan and Lucas were stunned. This wasn't just a task. It was a life-changing opportunity. Daniel trusted them. They had worked with him for 2 years. After saying this, Daniel picked up his bag and left the city. Now the store opened like usual, but for the first time, Daniel wasn't going to return for a whole week. After Daniel left, no one took more advantage of the situation than Lucas. Every day, he would sit comfortably on the store's chair while making Ethan do all the work. He spent his time watching videos on his phone, sipping tea, and didn't bother to talk to a single customer. One evening, as they were closing the store, Lucas secretly took some money out of the cash drawer. Ethan saw everything. Quietly, Ethan said, "Lucas, this is wrong. This is stealing." Lucas laughed and replied, "I'm not the owner, but right now this store is mine. Just shut the shop and go home. See you tomorrow." Without saying more, Lucas walked out. Ethan silently closed the store and went home, troubled. The next morning, Ethan arrived at the store a bit late. Lucas was furious. "Why are you late? Don't you value time at all?" Ethan bowed his head and said, "Sorry, there was heavy traffic today." Ethan quickly opened the store. Not even 5 minutes had passed when Mr. Albert, the same old man in torn clothes, walked in like every day. He quietly picked up a few food items and headed toward the door. But this time, Lucas saw him. He rushed toward him and shouted, "Hey, old man, stop! Give me the money! This isn't your father's store where you can just take things for free every day," Mr. Albert calmly replied. "Son, I don't have any money." But Lucas got angrier. He shoved Mr. Albert, snatched the items from his hands, and pushed him out of the store. Ethan had seen everything. His face turned red with anger and shame. He confronted Lucas. "Aren't you ashamed? You just raised your hand on an old man." Lucas, mocking, replied again, "Shut up! You're just a worker. Act like one." Ethan felt deep compassion for Mr. Albert. He ran after him and said, "Wait, please. Oh, take this." He took the food items from Lucas and gave them back to Mr. Albert, saying, "Take it. You can deduct it from my salary, Lucas." Tears welled up in Mr. Albert's eyes, but there was a gentle smile on his face. Ethan offered him a chair to sit and eat, but the old man declined. He looked at Ethan and softly said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Luke 10:27. Even love your enemies. Saying this, Mr. Albert limped away from the store, leaving behind a silence that stirred something deep in Ethan's soul. He knew something had changed within him. After Mr. Albert left, half the day had passed, but not a single customer came to the store. Ethan and Lucas sat there, doing nothing. Slowly, the afternoon passed, evening came, and then night fell. It was time to close the store. As always, Lucas took some money from the cash drawer and prepared to leave. Before going, he said to Ethan, "Close the store and make sure you're on time tomorrow." Ethan stopped him and said, "There wasn't a single sale today. And yet you're still taking money?" Annoyed, Lucas snapped back, "Shut your mouth and do your job." With that, he walked out. Ethan quietly closed the shop, but his heart was troubled. Mr. Albert's words kept echoing in his mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. Luke 10:27. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. The words of Mr. Albert kept him awake. He tossed and turned, thinking, was he just an ordinary old man, or something more? The next morning, Ethan got ready early and ran to the store. Lucas hadn't arrived yet. Ethan was praying in his heart, "I hope Mr. Albert comes today, and Lucas doesn't, so I can ask what those words meant." Ethan kept his eyes on the street, hoping to see the old man. An hour passed, but Mr. Albert never came. Instead, Lucas arrived, and as usual, he insulted Ethan and settled into the chair while Ethan did all the work. Not a single customer came the entire day. Ethan kept running the store, but his mind was constantly searching for the meaning of Mr. Albert's words. Now it had been 5 days, and not a single dollar had been made. It was becoming clear to Ethan. Customers used to come because of Mr. Albert. Maybe he was a reason, a blessing, or a messenger sent by God. And maybe the truth was hidden in the words he had spoken. That evening, when Lucas left, Ethan locked up and walked home in silence. On his way, he suddenly heard the voice of another old man calling out in the distance, "God says, love everyone, live in unity, love is the way." Ethan was stunned. He ran toward the voice, "These, nays," but the man vanished into the darkness. Ethan's eyes were opened. He realized that the answers he was seeking could be found somewhere else, maybe in a tree, in the presence of God. That night, too, he couldn't sleep. He waited for the morning. As soon as the sun rose, Ethan washed up and went straight to the church. It was empty, except for a pastor sitting inside. The pastor noticed Ethan's troubled expression and asked, "What happened, son? Why does your heart look so heavy?" Ethan told him everything, about Mr. Albert, the store, the sudden drop in sales, the things he said, Lucas's behavior, and his growing inner restlessness. The pastor smiled gently and said, "Son, we often get so busy fulfilling our own needs that we forget to make time for God. But God always shows the way. He sends us signs." The pastor handed Ethan a copy of the Bible and said, "This book holds the answers to all your questions. Whoever followed its teachings as God's commands was never hungry, never broken in spirit, and never caused pain to another. Take it with you, and you'll find the solution to all your troubles. God is with you." Ethan held the book in his hands, closed his eyes, and for the first time, he felt like he had found the right path. Ethan returned home directly from the church. In his hands was the Bible, and in his heart, restlessness. But now, there was hope too. Without wasting any time, he sat down to read the Bible. As he read each word, it felt as if a new light was filling his soul. Soon, his eyes grew heavy, and holding the Bible close to his chest, he fell asleep. In his sleep, Ethan had a dream. That same familiar face, Mr. Albert. Ethan's eyes lit up the moment he saw him. Smiling, Ethan said, "I waited for you so much. Why didn't you come to the store? I kept looking for you every day." Mr. Albert responded with a calm and profound smile. "My work was finished, my son. That's why I didn't come. Now you have found me, and I'll always be with you. Just keep me in your heart and walk the path I showed you." Ethan humbly said, "But I still haven't fully understood the meaning of the words you said." Mr. Albert looked at him with loving eyes and said, "I simply told you this, that we are all like tenants in this world, temporary, here only for a limited time. We are all neighbors to one another, no matter what form someone comes in, old, poor, rich, or helpless. We must treat everyone with love, respect, and compassion. Never speak harshly to the helpless, never hurt someone's heart. This is God's way." and this is true faith." As he said this, Mr. Albert's image began to fade. Ethan woke up from his sleep, tears in his eyes. But his soul now felt more peaceful and stronger than ever before. He held the Bible close to his chest again, and now he knew he was never alone. That day, Daniel, the store owner, was set to return. Ethan woke up early, got ready, picked up the store keys, and walked calmly toward the shop. Outside the store, Lucas was already sitting. As soon as Ethan arrived, Lucas started yelling, "Why didn't you open the store yesterday? The boss is coming today. I'll tell him everything. You're not going to get away with this." Ethan stayed quiet, only smiling gently. Without saying a word, he opened the store and started working. Within a few minutes, Daniel also arrived. Lucas ran up to him and began complaining about Ethan. All the work Lucas had done, he pinned it on Ethan. Daniel looked at Ethan. There was now a strange glow on his face. Daniel understood that something profound had changed. He asked only one question. "Did that old man come?" Ethan bowed his head and replied, "His work was done. He won't be coming back." Daniel understood everything. The previous night, Mr. Albert had shown him all the events in a dream, everything that had happened in the store. Daniel gave Lucas some money and said, "Don't come back to this shop again." Lucas, angry and bitter, took the money and walked away. As Ethan began to leave, Daniel stopped him and said, "From today onward, you will manage this store. I'm going to look after the other one." Ethan replied, "But I didn't increase the sales as you had asked." Daniel smiled and said, "That doesn't matter anymore. I know now who truly learned something and whose heart truly changed." Both of their faces shone with a divine light. Daniel left to manage the second store, and Ethan took over the one he had always worked at. Now everything had changed. The combined sales of both stores rose to $20,000 per day. What can we learn from this story? True service and honesty never go to waste. When we walk the path of love and compassion, God Himself creates the way. Helping others, especially those who are helpless, is one of God's most beloved acts. Every old man, every poor soul, every stranger might be a messenger sent by God into our lives. Let us know in the comments how this story made you feel, because this really happened to a friend of mine. And yes, this story is true. For more miraculous stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like and share this video. We'll meet again in 3 days with another beautiful story. Until then, may God's grace be with you all. Thank you.